One of the great things about doing this job, but it's also a slightly terrifying thing, is you have an instinct about something and then you put it out into the world, and then the reaction to it can sometimes be surprising, and that's exciting. But I just like when words like bleak and depressing and why would I want to watch that ever again, like, started coming at us. I was surprised by it, because for us it was just really about trying to capture some sense of, if you're gonna do this very genre idea and try to dress it up in a very non-genre presentation. I mean, I think that, like, when you just say, 140 million people sort of abruptly disappear, like, how are you going to show that? How are you going to express that? Like, for me, it was really just all about, even though the book starts 3 years later, as does the show, but I was like, how are these people feeling? Like, just this idea that it could happen again at any time. I know, like, I live in Los Angeles, so I know how I feel right after an earthquake. So this idea of, like, you just kind of get, every time you start to kind of feel good about something, you're like, oh, this food is really good, and then something's just kind of bothering you, and you're like, what is it? Oh, right, there was just this earthquake. And I kind of feel like something that happened on that scale, not just physically, like, oh, the people that I love could disappear at any moment, which, by the way, is just a fear that we all have. That's not a grief fear. It's like, you basically, you find someone that you love and you propose to them, and and you have family that you care about, but the idea for any of us who have suffered loss, the idea that in a second they could be gone. Once it happens, it's jarring, because it's not just like, oh, I'm grieving my dad because he's dead. That's sad. But the other thing that happens is you're sort of like, how do I reevaluate everybody else that I know, because they could be gone too? And so how does this look and how does this feel, and how are people who are experiencing this all the time behaving? They'd be going kind of a little bit crazy, because normally we're looking around for answers. You look, like, what is the Pope going to come out on his balcony and basically say, don't worry, this is what the departure was, and allow me to contextualize it for you, and all you have to do is come to church every day and you're going to feel better. Then the Pope is basically, he's fucking gone. So I really like that idea of a world where kind of everybody was looking for answers, and I live in a world that is predominantly, we're people of science. We bend towards atheism, but we're all afraid to say that we believe in God, and we describe ourselves as like, well, I'm kind of spiritual, like, I kind of believe that, like, everybody's connected, and it's like, you're fucking talking about the Force. Just say you believe in the Force, like, but we kind of don't know how to qualify it. And it was like, so the idea that people were afraid, that they were pushing away the people that they cared about most because they were afraid of losing them. So that's what we tried to put on the page. And then if someone had just said to me at any time in the process, do you think anyone's going to want to watch this? And when I saw this poster, I was like, yes, it's that. But then I don't understand, like, when you drive by that poster, you're like, God, like, I'd much rather watch, like, fucking Tyrion dealing with dragons. Like.